How's it going, everybody? So straight away, this video is going to be speculation. I don't know what Ubisoft has planned with this map, or if they even have any plans. Maybe their choice of using Forge in the current event game mode was completely random. Maybe it was a hint towards something more. Only time will tell. But we can certainly already have a look at some things that stand out, and while we're at it, we can also talk about problems that this map brings to the table and whether these are addressed properly, or if they're so fundamental that much more is needed. With that out of the way, let's get to it. Tales of Rebellion is currently in its third iteration, and the first mode is being played on the map Forge. And while it is pretty common that event maps see some changes, mostly in terms of ledges being closed off or walls being put up to limit the areas you can reach, we haven't really seen completely new assets being used. So let me present you the new bridge here on A Point. This one's much wider than its Dominion or even Dual counterpart. This seems like a very specific change, and at the same time a too big one just for a PvAI game mode. Maybe the Smith is too thick to fit through the old one, who knows? Would be pretty hilarious if that was the case. Nevertheless, I don't quite see a need for this one, at least not when looking at the bigger picture and what makes this map so terrible. Because let's not kid ourselves, Forge is quite a bad map. It is very often very one-sided and triple caps happen very frequently. I'll talk more about that in just a second. Fact is that you very rarely actually fight on that bridge. Most of the time you try to disengage or push someone to the other side. It does function as a choke point, but the actual fighting happens on either of the two sides, depending on which team pushes the point. On the other hand, less choke points are always welcome. The fewer possibilities there are for my opponent to completely stop me dead in my tracks, the better. At least if it's a solo opponent, multiple people blocking a path should definitely be a thing. But let's talk about one of the main issues with this map. I already said that triple caps are very common. So what do you do when you're triple capped? No, you're not going to trickle into your home point one by one and get slaughtered. You go mid lane, as that is a point you can get back without having to kill anyone. Well, that's not very easy on this map, as the rotation between points and mid lane are incredibly short. You can almost defend the point and clear minions at the same time. Which makes this map incredibly hard to break open again once you are behind and have no points to fall back to. The map also doesn't offer any real chance to backcap, as the only two paths are through an occupied point or through the minion lane, which is probably being farmed by someone. So, while flying around with Ansel, turns out there actually is an alternate path. Maybe it was just an aesthetic thing, or maybe it was an abandoned concept, no clue. Towards the end, there could have been an elevator or something, or God forbid a fucking ladder. Please no more ladders. Overall, it is very reminiscent of Sanctuary Bridge, a map that suffers from similar problems, just not to this extent. But let's move on back to the event game mode map. The connector between the two capture points is still the same. I was briefly debating whether the doorways are slightly bigger now, but I'm probably just imagining things. In the actual Forge, the C point, you'll immediately notice a difference. All anvils and smithing stations are gone. It is an empty room with a few corpses scattered about. And the lava pits or molten metal pits, I don't know what they're supposed to be. Well, those are closed now. So, obstacles to collide with your weapon are gone and ledges removed. The ledges are most likely strictly for the event mode. Ubisoft doesn't want to make it too easy for everyone and allow for easy kills. In PvAI, you are supposed to actually fight. Leave the legend for the PvP modes. Jokes aside, less weapon collisions with the environment is always nice, so I wouldn't mind them removing some of the forging equipment on that point. Especially since it is really counterintuitive, because sometimes attacks track around them or hit through them even, and the next time you ding on everything 17 times during a fight. But yeah, sadly that's it in terms of changes that stick out. Maybe it was just wishful thinking that I'd address each one of the problem maps one by one. Or maybe I'm just not being patient enough. Like I said in my other map videos, the map design team has certainly done an outstanding job lately. And I can wholeheartedly say that I trust them now. They've been trying to tackle these problems, and even if not all of them get resolved immediately, I'm sure even Forge can be a much more enjoyable map. There are things like defender / attacker favor that need a closer look, for a lot of them actually, and I'm sure Ubi has data in that regard too, however much that is worth. But yeah, we've seen a completely new path in Beachhead with the addition of a bridge, so maybe another backcapping path here would work as well. Who knows, I haven't given it too much thought. I was just a little excited when I saw the white bridge, as it was a new asset. Alright, enjoy me flying through the map a little more. Who knows what map will get reworked next. Forge is definitely a candidate. Having said all that, I hope the video was interesting. Thanks for watching. Laters everybody.